Ben Chu, you put Johnny Depp on the stand. It's always a high-risk strategy. It worked for you. If you were representing Sean Diddy Combs, would you put him up?
Well, we put Johnny up because he was telling the truth. So I think in this case, I don't think he's got any choice. Given that video, he's got to explain it. He's got to say that he's terribly sorry for it, but that was an aberration. That's not who he is. He simply has to say that.
Okay. Hold on to your seats because Diddy's courtroom drama is getting out of control, and it all boils down to one major player, Ben Chu. Yep, you heard right. Ben Chu, the superstar lawyer who helped Johnny Depp take down Amber Heard. The judge dropped him into Diddy's case out of nowhere, and let me tell you, behind the scenes, Diddy was not happy about it. You can just imagine the tension in the room. And it's only the third day of jury selection, but things are already on fire. Over 160 potential jurors have been brought in, and 49 of them got sent packing right off the bat.
So far, 19 jurors have been qualified. The magic number here is 45 because once the panel reaches that number, the prosecutions and Combs' defense lawyers will use their strikes to get this group down to 12 jurors and a number of alternates.
You know, some people just aren't cut out for the job. But the rest of them? Oh, they were grilled. I'm talking nearly 100 questions. We're talking everything from where do you get your news to how do you feel about Diddy? And of course, can you stay unbiased? As you can imagine, this wasn't your average job interview.
Here's what we know about those who have qualified so far. 2 women have said that they have been sexually assaulted decades ago in the past. They were allowed to continue on. And another woman who said that she had once been arrested for shoplifting for stealing a wand from Harry Potter's world at Universal Studios, also in that panel. Several jurors were dismissed, including one who had seen that hotel surveillance video. She had called it damning evidence, and for that reason, the judge had excused her from the panel. Jury selection will continue Tuesday morning until they get to the magic number 45 and go through those strikes. The judge thinks that will happen this week.
Now, things got real interesting when some of the jurors started admitting that they don't really like Diddy. Other potential jurors were a bit more unsure, saying they weren't sure they could handle the disturbing allegations tied to the case. It's not the kind of case you want to casually breeze through, right? So after all the grilling, the list was whittled down to 35 jurors. And here's the kicker. These jurors are from all walks of life. We're talking teachers, factory workers, designers, social workers, and some even in their 80s. It's like they're casting a reality show with some real high stakes. So far, 19 jurors have made the cut, but the magic number here is 45. Once they hit that number, the prosecution and defense can start using their strikes to knock people out of the running. And this is where it gets intense. They'll take it down to 12 jurors plus a few alternates.
To remain in the jury pool, all had to say they could be fair. The judge tried to keep things moving, so when the defense asked for a bathroom break, Combs apologized, saying, "Sorry, Your Honor, I'm a little nervous today."
The drama is just getting started, and you won't believe the next twist in this saga. The judge, in a move that took everyone by surprise, called in Ben Chu, yes, the same lawyer who helped Johnny Depp win that high-profile battle with Amber Heard, to talk about how celebrity trials work. Talk about stirring the pot. No one saw that coming. But of course, this just added more fuel to the fire. Tensions were already simmering, and this? Well, it's just pushing things to the edge. Things got even more chaotic when a juror had to be kicked off the panel because they admitted to working for HBO. And get this, HBO just dropped a documentary on Diddy. Can you imagine the mess? That's one serious conflict of interest. But, of course, not all jurors are that lucky. One juror didn't disclose their ties to a criminal defense organization, but guess what? They were still allowed to stay. How? Who knows? Maybe the judge is just feeling extra lenient today. Starting Friday, though, that's when things really start to get wild. Both sides can use their preemptive strikes, meaning they can start booting jurors from the panel without needing to explain why, as long as it's not based on race or gender. Oh, and we all know that's going to get real interesting when they start picking and choosing who stays. But here's where it really gets juicy. The prosecution is packing some serious heat.
Do you think that it's going to be tough to sit a fair and impartial jury in Sean Combs' criminal case?
Well, I think they will have a fair and impartial jury I think the problem is going to come in, with the Cassandra Ventura's tape. I mean, whether you've seen that before, you're certainly going to see that during the trial. And I think that's highly problematic, obviously, for Diddy, whether they've seen it before or not.
Yeah, because the prosecution is saying she was not only running away from Combs, she was running away from a freak-off, that there was a sex worker in that hotel room, and that goes to the charge of sex trafficking. And also racketeering, because sex trafficking is a part of that as well.
They've got this hotel surveillance video from 2016 that shows Diddy physically assaulting his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. Yeah, that video aired on CNN, and Diddy's already apologized for it. But here's the thing. Prosecutors say that's just one piece of the puzzle. And this is where it gets dark. They're claiming that this video is part of a much bigger, more disturbing pattern. They're alleging Diddy orchestrated some seriously wild, drug-fueled sex parties. And I'm not talking about the typical Hollywood party. I'm talking about these freaky freak-offs, where women were allegedly coerced into taking part. And get this, according to the court docs, Diddy allegedly supplied drugs like ketamine, magic mushrooms, and even set up hidden cameras to record it all.
This morning, day 2 of jury selection in the racketeering and sex trafficking trial of Sean Combs, seen in court with graying hair. Federal prosecutors are trying to prove Combs used his power, wealth, and fame to force women into drug-fueled orgies he called freak-offs and then threaten them into silence.
It's getting creepier by the minute, right? The allegations just keep coming, with claims that Diddy used fear tactics, threats, guns, and even arson to control his victims. Yeah, you read that right. Arson. One of the alleged survivors, believed to be Cassie, even says Diddy held her over a balcony during a fight. A balcony. And, according to the court records, this wasn't just a one-time thing. No. They claim there are recordings of these freak-offs, and Diddy used them to blackmail these women into keeping quiet. Cassie's lawsuit was just the beginning of Diddy's downfall, too. That lawsuit was settled in 24 hours. Talk about a quick resolution. But since then, at least 11 other women have come forward with their own civil lawsuits. Yeah, Diddy has some serious damage control to do, but he's denying all the allegations in these lawsuits. Of course he is. What else is he gonna say? But here's the thing. Diddy's defense team is not going down without a fight. Oh no, they've brought in one of the biggest names in criminal defense, Mark Agnilo. This guy's a powerhouse, and he's going to make sure that Diddy gets the best shot at defending himself. Their strategy? They're calling the charges exaggerated. That's right. According to them, Diddy didn't orchestrate any of these so-called freak-offs. Instead, they claim that Diddy lived a consensual swinger lifestyle. Just a typical Hollywood party vibe, nothing too sinister. They even say that video from the hotel, it's just a bad moment in a toxic relationship. No biggie, right? They're trying to paint it like a one-off situation, rather than a pattern of behavior. But let's be real here. The prosecution isn't backing down, and neither are the victims. This whole case has taken on a life of its own, and Diddy's defense is going to have to do a whole lot more than just wave around the bad relationship excuse. So, as jury selection continues, things are heating up. And while Diddy's team is busy plotting their strategy, the prosecution is not letting up. They've got some serious evidence in their corner, and they're ready to drop bombshell after bombshell. They're building this case like a slow burn, piece by piece, making sure every single detail hits hard. And they're just waiting for the perfect moment to make their move. But let's not forget, this is just the beginning. Once they've finally whittled down that jury panel to 45 and start getting into the real nitty-gritty of the trial, it's going to be an absolute circus. They'll start using those preemptive strikes, and trust me, the courtroom drama is going to reach a whole new level. Both sides will be on edge trying to get the upper hand before the trial even kicks off. And it's not like Diddy can afford to get distracted by all this courtroom theater. He's got a lot riding on how this whole thing plays out. But while Diddy's team focuses on defending his reputation, there's the matter of all those civil lawsuits piling up. The lawsuits just keep coming, one after another, and they're all starting to paint a picture that's impossible to ignore. At least 11 women have come forward with their own stories, some alleging abuse, others claiming they were coerced into participating in these freak-offs. The accusations are all over the place, but they're consistent in one thing. They all point back to Diddy and the same disturbing behavior. And it's not just the women who are involved in these lawsuits either. The lawyers representing these victims, they're sharpening their claws and they're not backing down. They're ready to take Diddy down piece by piece, and they know how to make every moment count. Each new lawsuit brings more fuel to the fire, and with each new accusation, it becomes harder and harder for Diddy's team to spin the story the way they want to. But here's the kicker. No matter what happens in court, Diddy's life has already changed forever. The allegations, the lawsuits, the public scrutiny, it's all out there for everyone to see. Even if the case doesn't go the way the prosecution hopes, the damage to Diddy's reputation has already been done. His once untouchable public image has been shattered, and it's going to take a lot more than a good lawyer to put that back together. And let's not forget, there's the matter of how this case will impact his career. Diddy's been a fixture in the entertainment world for decades, but now his name is being dragged through the mud in a very public, very messy trial. Whether he's guilty or innocent, the mere fact that he's involved in this kind of case is going to have a lasting effect on his reputation. People are going to be watching every move, every word, and every courtroom appearance with a magnifying glass. So what's next? Jury selection is still going on, but once that's wrapped up, it's going to be time for the fireworks to really start. And you better believe both sides are going to be ready for an all-out brawl. The courtroom is going to be packed with tension as the trial kicks into high gear. Both the prosecution and the defense are gearing up for the fight of their lives, and no one's backing down. The media will be hanging on every word, every twist in the case. You can already see it. The cameras, the reporters, the headlines, splashing across every social media feed, all waiting for the next big moment to break. And no matter how this case ends, one thing's for sure, it's going to be talked about for years to come. As we wait for the next move in this unfolding drama, one thing's certain. The world's eyes are on Diddy right now, and it's not just about the music or the fashion anymore. The real question is, how will Diddy weather the storm? Will he come out of this trial unscathed, or will this be the beginning of the end for his empire? Only time will tell. But one thing's for sure, this courtroom battle is far from over, and the stakes have never been higher.